I would like to shatter a stigma about working on mental health in this video. First, I'd like to have you imagine that you talk to someone on the phone, you've never met them in person, and this person told you, oh, I go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week, I try to do yoga on almost every day, and I try to get outside and do activities with friends. Maybe we go for a walk, a hike, or maybe we go surfing together, or we play some beach volleyball. What assumptions would you make about this person's physical health? So you've never met them and you've just heard this about them. If it were me, I would imagine, oh, this person's probably physically fairly healthy. They do a lot of stuff to work on their physical health. And then let's say they also tell you, oh yeah, for volleyball I have a coach and I'm training really hard on getting better at volleyball, and I have a legit good coach and I go see that coach 4 days a week. Then the assumptions you'd probably make is, wow, this person's, who knows how good they're at volleyball today, but if they stay with it, I know that they're probably progressing at volleyball faster than someone who's playing the same amount of volleyball but without a coach. So that'd be my assumption, is that anyone who has a coach is probably getting much better, much quicker at something than someone who's doing the same amount of playing but without a coach. For example, in high school, I had a wonderful tennis coach, and I got better much more quickly than people who were playing the same amount of tennis I was playing, but I had this amazing coach, and so I was able to progress much faster than people who didn't have a coach, and I felt very fortunate about that. The reason I bring up this example is that makes sense to everyone. But now when we change it just slightly, and you're talking to the same person on the phone and they say things like, oh yeah, I have a therapist, and I see my therapist about once a week on average. I might go a couple of months without seeing them, or sometimes even years, but then I might go through a 3-month period where I see them twice a week, and it depends on what's going on in my life and where I am. Then now what assumptions do you make about their mental health? And for me, it's so strange to me that there's this stigma that, oh my gosh, you're seeing a therapist? Oh, what's wrong with you? What's wrong? And you don't need something to be wrong with you to go to the gym. You don't need something to be wrong with you to go hiking. You don't need something to be wrong with you to pick up a sport like volleyball, or to hire a coach to help you play volleyball. These are all things that help you improve your physical health or your ability to play a sport. So why do we have this stigma that seeing a therapist or a counselor or a psychologist or a psychiatrist is a sign that something's wrong or broken? And unfortunately, I think that's how most people get started with therapy or psychiatry, is something is broken and they do hit some something's wrong, and so they go in and they get help that they need. And I think that's unfortunate because, why wait? Why wait till something's broken? To me, that'd be the equivalent of being so out of shape that the doctor tells you you are morbidly obese and you've got to get some exercise. And yeah, that person will really benefit from getting some exercise and changing their life. But if you can interrupt things before you get to that point, I think most people agree that's a good thing. So similarly, why wait till something gets to a really challenging point that you actually feel like you need a therapist? Why not just try it while you think you're healthy? Just like you would go to the gym. If you're already healthy, maybe you go to the gym. If you're already healthy, maybe you pick up a new sport, just because it helps you move your body in new ways and helps you find new health. And so to me, this stigma is something that collectively as a society I think would be so helpful to interrupt. And if you do have friends who seek therapy, my guess is your experience is like mine. The healthiest people I know in my world seek therapy. And they don't always go to therapy, just like my healthiest friends, some of them go to the gym, but maybe they take a year off of the gym, and maybe they take 3 years off of the gym, but they're probably doing something else instead. And so similarly, if you go to a therapist, it doesn't mean for the rest of your life you see a therapist, but maybe going to that therapist helps kickstart some other program in your life where you work on your mental health, your emotional health. And there's a huge benefit to starting something when you're already in a healthy state. I think it's much harder to get healthy if you already have all these bad habits that are contributing to, say, sitting on the couch every day and watching TV and eating Doritos and fast food, and you get to a bad physical state. That's going to be much harder to interrupt than if you're starting already healthy and then you're just trying to keep yourself healthy. That's going to be a lot easier. So similarly, if you believe your mental health is spot on and you believe that your emotional health and well-being is wonderful, that's a great starting point. And maybe going to a therapist will reveal that, oh my gosh, you're the most mentally healthy person in the world. Congratulations and kudos. That's wonderful. The point of today's discussion was just to plant a seed in your head that if you have a stigma against seeking therapy, or a stigma against thinking that getting help is somehow a sign that something's wrong with you, I encourage you to interrupt that and just to apply the same reasoning and mindset you have about physical health, and recognizing no matter how physically healthy you are, it's an ongoing process to stay healthy. If you're fit today, but you stop doing all the things that make you fit, you're going to become unfit. And similarly with mental health, no matter how mentally healthy you are, I feel like most of us can get better. And hiring a coach or a therapist, in this case, someone who helps you, they just help shortcut things. So I think if you took two people, one works on their mental health on their own and another works on their mental health with a therapist, and they put the same effort in, the one with the therapist is probably going to have an advantage. Just like the volleyball example where two people playing volleyball, one has a coach and one doesn't, and they start out at the same level, the one with the coach is probably going to progress faster than the one without. There's probably exceptions to that, depending on natural talent and a lot of other factors. So if this video is something that resonates with you, or it's an aha moment or anything, please hit the subscribe button if you want more. The like button is really helpful for me to know which videos are helpful. And of course, if you could comment, that's to me the best ever, because then that helps me understand the thoughts that are going on in your mind around these videos. Thanks for your attention today. Hope you have a wonderful one.